So tell me, have you ever been thinking about creating some email funnels or a product funnel or one of those funnel thingies? And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Well, today we are talking to Sean Dietl, and he is the funnel king. And Sean, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks. I appreciate it. So basically what I do is I help either solo entrepreneurs or small business owners be able to attract more leads to their business. Obviously, that's the core of a lot of business is to be able to attract qualified leads. And I do that through sales funnels and ads like Facebook ads and Google ads.
Leads are those things that make the cash register ring, right? I mean, it's just,
Absolutely.
if we don't have leads coming in, we're spinning our wheels, and having a great sales funnel is definitely something that helps to bring in those leads. So give us an idea, an overview of what a typical sales funnel might look like.
There are a lot of different styles, a lot of different ways to craft a funnel, right? It just really depends a lot on what the business is, what the offer is, and what the objective is. So let me give you just a quick example of saying you've got a consultation business where you're a service provider. And so you would probably want to build a funnel where you may have what's called a lead magnet, where you entice somebody to give you their email address for some freebie or download that you're offering. And on the next page, then you would go into like a sales video where you'd start kind of introducing your service to the client and see if they would be willing to book a one-on-one call with you, or put your calendar right there on the page so they can already grab a spot, and then drive them into like an application to qualify them. You want to make them feel like, I don't work with everybody, so I want to make sure that you and I are a good fit. So that kind of gives that sense of, they may not want to work with me. And you ask these questions that will help you figure out, is this a qualified lead or not? So by the time they actually get to the phone call, you've got a red hot lead for your business.
That's it's another thing. It's going to save a lot of time because you're not having to do all the pre-qualification. The system is going to do it for you. And I think it's a really valuable tool, especially to start something before your business starts growing, because once it starts growing, it gets harder to really kind of track all of those details. But there are a lot let's be honest, there are a ton of courses teaching people how to do these things, right? But why does it make sense to delegate this to somebody else instead of taking one of these courses and trying to learn how to do this yourself and then going out and doing it?
That's a great question, because the truth is today, it's so technological that, anybody without technology skills could build a funnel. It's very feasible nowadays. But the reason why it's better to have somebody else do it isn't for the technical aspect. It's for the marketing aspect that, the person has a lot of experience and background in how to speak to the customer correctly, how to flow the funnel properly for the right customer so that you get to your objective by the time they get through the funnel. Because like I said, there's so many different ways to do it. And having that experience, somebody who's experienced in doing that is going to save you a lot of time and money in experimenting. Because if you don't know for sure how to craft it, you're going to spend a lot of time in ads and a lot of money in ads trying to experiment. Okay, which ad was better? Which one speaks to people better? Which flow did they like better? And it's just going to slow everything down.
And one of the big mistakes that I see happening a lot is, I have prospects coming to me on a regular basis saying, do you guys do Facebook ads? And the first question that I'll ask them is, do you have a funnel in place? And most of the time their answer is no. And I'm like, well, you need to make sure that your funnel is nailed down and perfected before you want to start investing in all of these Facebook ads, unless you're kind of trying to figure out your market. And there's some other reasons, but for the most part, if you're really looking to sink a bunch of money into Facebook ads, you better make sure that your funnel is fine-tuned and really going to be effective. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money on those ads.
Yeah, it's absolutely something you definitely have to consider. Yeah, if you don't have a good sales funnel in place, that's definitely number one.
So what's one of the biggest mistakes you see people making when they're kind of DIYing this whole thing?
Well, there are tons of different mistakes you can make, from the technological mistakes, like forgetting to attach your email sequence to a funnel, or, things like that. I think the bigger issues really are the fact that you don't know what you don't know about how a sales funnel operates, or how a customer should experience that sales funnel. And like I said, again, that experience, and somebody having that experience of that, there's just things that they know that, okay, I should do this in this case, and I shouldn't do this in that case. It's kind of hard to nail down exactly like these specific things, but so most of the things I would say are, if you haven't built a sales funnel, there's going to be a big learning curve in how to put it together and how to make a customer work.
Yeah, even if you have a great checklist, there's still going to be things like the language that you might use in this email versus that email, or how to place the link on the landing page, or the fact that you don't want your link to be the same color, or the button to be the same color as the rest of the landing page. Those are things that if you're not a student or a study of funnels, then you might miss those things, and that's going to dramatically decrease your results from the overall program. So it totally makes sense to delegate this. So if somebody's ready to finally delegate this, what should they look for in an expert?
Yeah, so an expert is going to be able to help you really articulate better who your audience is. I mean, I think that's probably the most important thing when we're talking about driving qualified leads to a funnel, is you have to be able to get behind your customer's brain and know what they're thinking. What were they thinking before they knew they had a problem? What are they thinking now that they know they have a problem? What kind of solutions are they going to be thinking about? What kind of behaviors are they going to have? So, creating this big profile around the customer is the most important part of it. And having somebody who's experienced in doing that is going to help speed that process up quite a bit, because from there, you just build out the funnel in line with that audience that you're targeting.
And I think, it makes a difference, or maybe it doesn't, but you can answer this for me. Does it make a difference if the person building the funnel has built funnels for your type of business? I mean, I would imagine it's going to be very different building a funnel for an e-commerce type business versus a life coach versus maybe a plumber kind of thing. Does that play into it at all?
Yeah, definitely funnels vary a lot. I mean, I really look at each one as a unique funnel. Now, there's a truth that, like, let's say for the fitness industry, for example, if I built a very successful funnel for a personal fitness trainer or something like that, I could take that template and plug and play it into another business, but their audience is a little bit different. They're not the same audience. They may need some tweaks here and there, depending on, maybe their lead magnet is something different. Maybe they don't like the certain copy that you have. You have to speak to them differently. And you might even have to throw in or take out some extra pages, just depending on, what kind of attention span does your audience have.
I use that example a lot of, it's the difference between when you go to your bank website versus when you go to your fitness club website. They're very designed very differently, and this is going to be no different. So I think it does help having somebody that knows your audience and knows your type of business, at least to some extent. So I know, Sean, that you are definitely somebody that loves building sales funnels. How can somebody who's interested in this reach out and get to know you a little bit more and find out if you're a good fit for them?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm very active on Facebook, so you can just look me up, Sean Diedel. That's SeanDiedel. And just shoot me a message there. I'd be happy to talk to anybody. If you just want to talk about funnels, I'm available.
I love it. I love it when we get to just chat about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I love it. If you are interested in funnels, feel free to reach out to Sean. And if you want some overall business management, you need some help growing your business and getting out of the weeds of what you do, I really encourage you to start delegating smarter, delegate this, and contact Virtual A-Team for all of your delegation needs. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.